see it on here.
It never popped up on mine, so maybe it will when it goes public. Maybe it's...
Might could be. Copy. Okay.
Go live.
Okay.
And it looks like we're transmitting video.
What's that mean?
It means go to the comments.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is I, Matt Franks, and it is he, Cliff Franks, and today we're going to be building a NAS, a little solution to our entire household's problem, storage, and the fact that we have way too many hard drives all throughout this place. So, I guess while we're waiting for him to do whatever it is he is doing, we can go through the parts list, and then we can kind of get straight into building it. So if you wouldn't mind, Mr. Producer, switching to
Camera 2 or camera 3?
the close angle 3, I guess. Yeah, that one. Here's our parts. Pretty uninteresting, I would say, set of parts. We went with the, I guess we'll start off with the motherboard. Went with the MSI B660MA. Nothing's. I gotta stop saying. I gotta stop pausing. I gotta. You know what I mean? We went with this motherboard. I think it's Micro ATX. I got all these parts together well before Christmas, so I don't remember exactly what's all here. This should be a mini ATX motherboard. Nothing too particularly special about it. It's not super high-end, not all the bells and whistles that you can get out of any modern motherboard, but it'll be perfect for what we're going to be doing here. For the processor, we went Intel Core i5. Again, I don't remember exactly which one this one is. Core i5 12400. It has built-in graphics. It'll be, again, fine for what we're going to be doing today. It's nothing special. Nothing super high performance, but it will be just fine. 32 gigs of Crucial Ballistics. RAM is a little overkill for this. Actually, it's kind of probably the most... I lied, actually. The power supply is going to be the most overkill part for this entire build. That would be the Thermaltake Thorough Power 750 watt gold. This originally was for my gaming rig, and then I realized that I needed something even bigger because I went with even better parts. So this should have absolutely no problem handling the system and all its power needs. It should probably last this thing through the entire life cycle of this. We shouldn't have to replace it ever. We've got a couple Noctua fans in here for extra cooling. Not that it really needs it. For the boot drive, we went with a Samsung 970 EVO Plus. Should be just fine. Almost overkill, again, for a system like this. And for the actual storage, we're going to start out with two 8TB drives. And either he or I will buy some more drives to expand. We have slots for 10 drives, I believe, total. So pretty big room to grow here. We've got a Barracuda and an Iron Wolf. I wish I could say that that was for redundancy. They recommend that you buy two different drives or kind of separate drives, so that way there's less likelihood of them failing at the exact same time. It's just the Barracudas from my other system that I was going to chuck in there and then decided I wouldn't. So, and then for the case, we went with the recommended. You can go with the wide AJ now. The much critically acclaimed super recommended Fractal Design Node 804. Again, giving us a kind of a small form factor, as well as 10 3.5-inch bays for us to put many a hard drive in here. So, actually building the machine itself is going to be really easy. It's going to be basically like building Legos to me. So I might try and have him build the majority of this, see how far he can get without any help. The difficulty is going to be the actual the OS, the software that we're going to be running to actually make it into a NAS. So that we might do off camera and then do maybe a little bit of an update video later. It depends on how quickly we can get through this build, which it shouldn't take long. There's not much here. It's really, really intuitive. So long as you kind of know what you're doing.
Hello, OTC? Yeah. Go ahead and ship me out a complete built NAS.
So, we could do that.
We could.
But this is budget friendly. This is fun. And this is upgradable and future-proof.
I really like calling OTC. They have great customer service.
I'm pretty great at customer service, I would say. I don't know. Okay, well, trivia question. What do you think we would start with if we were to start the build, if you were to start doing it?
After I got off the phone with OTC, I would probably build the board.
Very smart, very smart. There you go.
Because most people probably would think the case, get the case out and get it, but really, you should probably start with the main board.
This is correct. This is the simplest thing to start on. We'll go ahead and unbox it. This nice new shiny hunk of metal. Has it got that new motherboard smell in there? Or? I'd like to actually probably build off of the box. Would be the nicer way to do that. You can go ahead and switch to the close-up here. Is this recording? Okay, yeah, look at that. Nice, shiny. What's going to be nice about this is we can put an expansion card, because right now we only have 2 SATA ports on this board, which is fine for the 2 SATA drives that we have. But if ever we want to add more, we'll need a SATA expansion card. And I believe we could also get a 10 gig network port in here, assuming that this isn't one already. I think it might be, but if it is something that we need to upgrade down the line, it does have 2 PCIe slots for upgradability. So I guess, what would you do next? There you go. So, like I said, Intel, Core i5, nothing particularly fancy, but it should be plenty for what we're doing here. Might need a knife to get open that RAM is the only thing that I'm thinking right now, but everything else should be pretty straightforward. I don't think I've ever properly unboxed a brand new CPU. The CPU that I got for my system was, I think, pre-owned. I think it was a used CPU, but I could be very wrong about that. So there she is in all her glory. Don't just sit on don't sit on one camera angle, I would say, AJ. Like, you can kind of go back and forth a little bit to make it interesting. This is the neat little cooler. This thing's actually kind of beefier, kind of bulkier than I was expecting it to be. But again, this should be plenty of cooling. I was thinking about getting like a water-cooled little AIO pump, but I decided that this is probably, it's not going to be doing a whole lot. It's just going to be managing our storage server. So we're going to go ahead and undo this, open this, and these are keyed. Be very gentle. Try to figure out which way this wants to go. So I believe it is this way. Just looking at the keys. There should be a, oh, there's the arrow. I don't see where that's supposed to line up with on the board, but if we just gently lower it down on there, we will see that it
Do we not have any
fits right in there. Huh?
Jack says CPU brand new out of the box.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Then it just didn't come with a cooler like I thought that most of them do. So we go ahead and lower the lid. I forget how to do this next part because I didn't have an Intel computer. I have a Ryzen CPU. This just pops off. I know that much. Yeah, something like that. Oh, okay, I see what I did wrong. It wasn't catching on the... Something like that. Okay, CPU installed. RAM is going to be next. I think everybody could have guessed that. Again, 32 gigabytes of Crucial's Ripjaws, actually, I lied. These are Ripjaws. I thought I went with the Crucial Ballistics, but these are actually G-Skill Ripjaws. My most sincere apologies. Like I said, I parted this out a long time ago. Bam, 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 bam. We don't need those all open. I believe we're going in these slots. Click. So you hear the click. Come on. Click and click. Okay.
Why
Nice
is that
and
smoke
seated.
coming out of there?
Well, it's an excellent question. I guess we could do the CPU cooler now. So these, again, I have not used a factory Intel cooler before because I have a really super complex IAO pump. It looks like it just clips down in there. And it looks like those are all the same. They're not, but it goes like this. Very delicately.
You can't just hammer that stuff around? Or?
Well, I suppose you could, but you might be out of a cooler. Alright, I'm not quite sure why these last two don't want to activate. Oh, they did, but they didn't snap.
Oh, it says right here, they might not feel like they activate, but they sometimes do. And then you gotta use a screwdriver.
Right. I am seeing a twisting mechanism happening here.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting, I guess. Need a flathead. Okay, alright. I will go back and get a flathead screwdriver.
I think it says Phillips.
Wow.
If you need screwdriver,
Why all of them? Forgot forgot to mute myself. The keyholes, it look like it would only be a flathead.
Those you can twist with your hand.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But it says in the directions. Who needs these thinking directions anyway?
Right, this is supposed to be super intuitive and fun for the whole family.
Let me go
Oh.
get John and Ben. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where's Mom?
Oh, okay, I see. They don't have to go far. That's why you can do it with your hands. They go down and then they lock. Like so. Yeah, I get it now. I see now, says the blind man. And somehow I just got those right the first time, or what? Down and twist. Nope. Yeah, I did have it right the first time. Or not. Yeah, those two are on. Where's the unlock? That's unlock. And then lock. No. Unlock. I mean, they're down in there.
How's that video looking? Crispy, Jack?
Is it coming in smooth?
Something on the screen there. Loading out Jack's profile. Go from like the A to the. Very smooth.
Well, that's good. I might need to look at the manual that you decided to chuck across the room,
Yeah.
perhaps. Okay, CPU's already in the socket. Plate's already off. Unscrew. I'm confused. It just gives you a whole nother set of instructions for a completely different CPU cooler below it. All it says, all it instructs you to do, it doesn't even show a diagram of it over the actual CPU slot, which is pretty neat.
You forgot to put the glue.
The thermal paste. See, I had said something about that, and then the guy was like, oh, it already comes pre-installed on there. And he was right, it does, so I didn't forget it. I don't know why I told that story like that, but... Oh, I see. Why aren't you pressing down all the way is my question. I don't really want to put a lot of pressure on you, but I see why you're not engaging properly. You need to go down further.
Switch to your other camera.
What happened? Did the battery die?
Yeah. Sony.
Sony. Well, I wouldn't necessarily blame Sony. I'd blame the fact that it's old. How have I got 2 of them right? And 2 of them I can't get.
Where's the Sony battery at?
Right below it.
We can just move this.
Off to a glorious start, ladies and gentlemen. Glorious. I swear, I guarantee you that if anything goes wrong during this build, it's going to be the CPU cooler, and that's what was wrong with my last build. What is your major malfunction? I don't understand. So there's a piece that goes down in between. Yeah, like that, right there. Oh,
No.
huge.
You can see it. Look on the big screen. You can
Okay, I have a better idea. Let's do this. I'm afraid I'm going to lose progress here, but I think it might be the fact that I did it in the wrong order. So this one is correctly bolted down, right? This one's loose now.
Just leave it here. Just don't go to that camera. Something's not right.
Something ain't right. This is sweet. I love this. This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun. It might be time for YouTube. That's one mistake that I made the last time. And I need a smaller screwdriver if I want to do it like that. Alright, we're calling upon YouTube. Unless you want to take a crack at it, you are absolutely more than welcome. To mount. Well, one of them is. They have to be all making consistent contact. Like this one's right. That one actually might be right, but these two aren't.
For installation. So we want to make sure they're all turned clockwise before we install it.
That's probably not what I did.
Socket, make sure that the plastic pins stick through all 4 holes in the motherboard. Easiest way to check this is to rotate the heatsink a little bit and see if all of the pins move, just like this.
Oh, that's where yeah, I know exactly where I went wrong. The pins are supposed to come through first. Or not. No. I had it right. I was right. So those got to come through first, and then these got to come in behind them. Like that. So now they all should punch through, punch through, punch through, punch through, punch through. So take out, take out, take out, take out. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't mess with it too much. Is this how I had it? I think it's all the same dimensions. So they're all in there. That one punches down, locks in. That one punches down. Might need an actual screwdriver for this. These tolerances. Unless I can get my nail in there like that. Of course, that doesn't. No. I was going to say, that doesn't feel secure. Yeah, I think it should be done diagonally. Even with my small fingers, it's hard to twist that. I'll just take a quick look here.
also want to make sure that you have enough slack on the CPU fan wire to reach the CPU fan header.
And in hindsight, since they're all the same length, well, it's narrow enough, surely. Oh, am I stupid? Oh, man, I think I am stupid. I've been twisting it the wrong way this whole time. So that's unlock, push down, and to lock it, we gotta go this way. No, that one didn't go all the way through. Oh, they're different on both sides. Interesting.
You want me to go get a nail
A nail.
or a drywall screw?
Maybe.
We can run it.
What we need is a vice grip.
Well, I don't think you should have that much pressure on it, to be honest with you.
Well, to be honest with you, it's better than no pressure. Okay, which way does that gotta go?
It's
Towards me. Towards me. But each side's different for some reason.
That's not what Linus just said.
Well, I don't understand why it doesn't want to go all the way through. Like, those two are in securely. That one isn't. So, unlock it, push it back in. Yeah, that one has to go clockwise. So you push down and go clockwise. That didn't go all the way down the way it was supposed to. There's a latch it needs to catch. Which I can't seem to find. Oh, I see it. There it went. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now. I know I've said that a lot, but... There. So now that is mounted on there solidly. Hopefully, that is making plenty of contact with the actual CPU. And again, with the power of hindsight, I wish that I had routed this the other way around now that I know that all the clearances are all the exact same size. I would have turned this over and had the cord wrap around because it ultimately needs to end up here. And I would have made life easier on myself cable management wise if I didn't have all of this hanging over here, but it's fine. There should be a spot on the case for this to kind of tuck back there. So now we are pretty much ready for the board to go in there and to start figuring out our hard drive cages situation. So why don't we unbox the case and see what we are working with in that department. Okay. We'll do this upside down. this sewn up. That isn't a disk bay, is it? Or a disk drive? I think it is. I think that's exactly what that is. That's kind of funny. I thought this was supposed to be kind of a newer case, but we've got some old functionality to it. This, ladies and gentlemen, right here is the Fractal Design Node. Huh?
I said, is a microwave.
Yeah.
That looks like a little beer fridge.
Well, I guess you could have it whatever you want it to be. And in this particular use case, it is going to be our NAS case. Nice little mini ITX case.
With a nice CD slot on the side.
Which is kind of funny. I bet you we could probably get a CD drive somehow in there, and you can just store all sorts of data from your collection of CDs, and DVDs, and whatnot. Maybe, I don't know. So it looks like we have to take all of these panels off. Boy, these screws are supposed to be kind of thumb tight, you know, so you can get it off, because they're called thumb screws. They're supposed to be not super tight. And I believe this top panel, it looks like this top panel has to come off first, but I could be wrong. I guess the side panel comes off first. That's cool. Nice little plastic side port for viewing all of the pretty parts that aren't RGB in this particular system. Just set this down out of the way. I would like this top panel to come off because we need to see about getting some cooling up in the top here. But I don't really know what its issue is. I know it comes off. I can feel it wanting to.
I don't think so, Tim.
Well, does the dust cover want to come off either? Well, how are you supposed to... I mean, you can mount them from the bottom, but it's just a chore. Okay, well, that's alright. So, it looks like we've got all accessories all twisty tied up in here. It looks like we have a whole separate section of the case dedicated to storage, which I hadn't realized was going to be a thing, and I think that that's actually really cool. Alright, let's see what we got in here. It should just be a bunch of connections, cables, oh, and mounting hardware, of course. Some zip ties for cable management. Some rubber standoffs, I assume, to reduce vibration of the hard drive, so when they're running together, kind of right next to each other, they don't harm each other, except for they've already got them pre-installed in each one of those. So those must just be replacements then, I guess. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then there's the standoffs we're going to need for the motherboard. So we better grab those quickly. Not sure what this is to. Could be a GPU, what's the word I'm looking for? Holder, bracket, to keep the GPU from, well, that's only one standoff. Odd, if that's even what this is. Oh, no, this is a wrench. Yeah, I know what that is. Oh, there's the standoffs. They're just the same color. Okay, so these go like this. You know, if they want to, of course, I guess. There it goes. Oh, that's yeah. I remember now. This is for the standoffs, to get the standoffs bolted down in there. It appears that there's a little screw in there though, which is kind of inconvenient. Really inconvenient as a matter of fact. I don't know how manufacturers would prevent this in the future, but I would hope that they figure this out. Make a hook out of my zip tie here, maybe. It's not enough angle. Come on. Anybody got a fishing hook around here? I'm not gonna lie to you, that's really annoying. Well, it looks like we might be tightening the standoffs by hand, because unless I can find mine from my motherboard case, I might go see if I can't find my bit. Come back in here so I can continue to entertain. I got a bunch of goodies in this here box left over. I've actually got standoffs left over. That's from Jack's PC, actually, now that I think of it, because he didn't put any of the standoffs in there and went straight into the bottom of his case. And then ended up having tolerance issues with the CPU cooler, if I'm not mistaken. And ended up having to put cardboard in the back of his computer case, which was kind of funny. And unluckily enough, I'm not seeing my... little bit in here, which is... Oh, here's my big old bag of hardware. Surely it's still in here. Oh, there's a dead spider in there. That's kind of neat. Is that what that is? No. That? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. We'll let the spider rest in peace. Oh, it didn't end up resting in peace. Did you never figure that out, huh? There you go. Oh, okay, well, he left. Yeah. Don't know how he got in there or when. Now, can I get this in here? Now I need a Phillips. Unless I can just use my hands here, we'll see. Yeah, it's still better than just doing the standoffs by hand. Okay, that's a 1. I'm mixing all my hardware up. I wish they would have separated a lot of the stuff a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Because now I basically have to dump my entire bag of hardware out just to get to the few standoffs I was looking for. Crank those all the way down so there's no issues with anything being higher or lower than it should be. I'm just going to dump the bag. It looks like there's one standoff in there that was set in there from the factory, so I'm kind of wondering about why that is. Why the others aren't already in there. I couldn't tell ya, to be completely honest with you. Would be nice if I had a Phillips. This is kind of hurting my fingers a little bit because they don't really want to go in. Oh, top-down view. Why didn't we think of that earlier?
Yeah. Well, we didn't need
It's
it
kind of
that much.
kind of smart, honestly. I mean, that's what I did for my first PC building stream. I don't know why I wouldn't try that again. Okay, so yeah. We're gonna I'm not gonna lie. On my gaming rig, I did not put all the standoffs in there. And I did not fill in all the screws. Now, I don't transport mine at all. It just stays in one place, so it's not a huge deal. But because this is my dad's system and not mine, we will be taking extra good care to making sure that this system is nice as can be. I'm going to make sure that the cable management is a lot better this time. My cable management in my gaming system is less than desirable. But that's okay, because the 1.5 PCs that I built gave me a lot of insight on what to do and what not to do. Primarily what not to do. So, should be the last standoff we really need, and that is this one. So, looking at the case right now, it looks like we get 3 fans from the factory. We don't really need to add more, but I think we will anyhow. I'm going to go ahead and count these bays once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 bays just there alone. And then I wonder if there's expansion stuff maybe. I know I've seen on a couple of different cases, some manufacturers will say that you can mount them to different fan ports and stuff. And there's a couple spots on the bottom you could probably mount them as well. So that's the only reason I bring that up is because if we add more fans, we kind of have to take into consideration where are we putting those fans, and is that reducing the future of adding more drives to this. So, okay, we got our standoffs in there. I'm going to quickly make sure, I think it's these screws that we need. It'll go through the motherboard into the standoff. It is these we are absolutely going to want a Phillips screwdriver for, because those you are not getting you are not getting hand tight. You're not getting those anchored down with just your fingers. Don't ask me how I know. Okay, so now we're going to flip our case over. We're going to get all our cables out of the way for a second, and we're going to get the motherboard mounted in there. And then we can try and get some cooling mounted around in there, the power supply, the drives, and then the fun part is done. Okay. So why they did this is beyond me, but they cable tied, or they twisty tied cables together from the back of the motherboard, or from the back of the case to the front of the case, which means I can't slip my motherboard where it needs to go. Okay. Needs to be facing this way. Get it just kind of in there first, and then we can line it up properly. Okay. So about that room that I would supposedly have to tuck away my cord. It's not looking like I'm getting it. Oh, okay, no, we got a little room. So that should line up with the IO shield. Oh, it doesn't have an IO shield. Oh, wait, is that what this is? No. Where's the IO shield? Did the motherboard come with an IO shield? I guess it's not big deal if it didn't. Yeah, that's what that silver piece is there. I don't know. Does that go in before or after? My case kind of already had one my motherboard already had one pre-installed. So I got kind of spoiled here. I bet you this has to go on the motherboard first. Which is slightly inconvenient. And annoying. Alright. Bring it back up.
Kind of like this kid I used to know.
What? Annoying?
Ew.
I didn't say.
He heard you. Okay, I don't know. I guess you just bend these tabs out of the way and then pinch them back together or something. I ain't done this before. It's not the biggest deal in the world if this shield doesn't go on. It's just kind of dust protection and aesthetics, I guess. What are we catching on here? There's so many things that we could be catching on. Right there. Okay, I see. Now what? It's still this. I thought this was supposedly built for this. Oh. No. No. Are those supposed to go in each of the ports? They might be. Was I wrong about this? I can see now that these are supposed to... No, they're not. This is supposed to be something really simple. Not supposed to be that complicated. There. Okay. Yep. These got to be bent out too, but that already fits so much better. I was right. It is okay. I should have grabbed the water before I started this. My voice is already getting dead. We are still catching on something, aren't we? I am just going to say I don't understand. I'm going to be completely honest. They're too wide to actually go in the ports, but they're too thin to go around them. So we might just say that we don't need an IO shield and just not use it. Because realistically, we don't need an IO shield. So we won't use it. Okay, now back to what we know. Nice, gently lay it down on the standoffs, or just down, and then down on the standoffs. Man, we had it lined up. Okay. That's lined up. That's lined up. That's lined up. That all is looking good. That's all good looking. Okay, now I need a Phillips screwdriver. Was a handy helper looking for that for me, or not so much? How about the other handy helper? Go grab my big old cup of water.
This handy helper's helping with the screen.
That's okay. I guess while we're waiting for that, we can talk about the operating system that we're going to be using. We're going to be using, which camera am I supposed to be looking at? This one. We're going to be using NAS. It's been something that's been recommended a lot by the big time YouTubers. I think that it's going to be relatively plug and play. Perfect. And it should be exactly what we need for this use case. Are these the magnetic ones? Yeah, they are. That's going to make our life easier. Since we don't have the LTT screwdrivers, I am now realizing that I might have picked up the wrong screw. Hang on. No, that's the right one. We'll do each of the corners first to make sure that they're all in place. Are we top down again? We should go top down again. Not that you can really see that much from that particular angle. Can you zoom any? How strong is this magnet? Strong enough. Perfect. I don't believe that to be the wisest idea, but I guess nothing's powered right now, so.
What? Better off in here?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's glorious. That's wonderful. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, if you really wanted to go water cooled,
Cool it off for a moment.
cheapest water cooling you're gonna get.
Yeah, I reckon. I was actually looking into getting my graphics card water cooled since I already have my CPU. And it's like gonna be a little over $500 to do that.
Do you have to add water to it, the CPU?
No, it came with its own special fluid.
So it just reuses it?
Yeah, it just recirculates it. Just like the coolant in your car.
Just gotta change it out every 100,000.
Exactly. Except for they don't give you a way to do that, so by changing it out, you have to spend another $100 and some on a new cooler. But it's better than air-cooled, so I could do my own custom loop if I really, really wanted to, but that is a song for another time. But that is probably something I should look into doing, because I do want to overclock both the GPU and the CPU. Again, this stupid cord. Would have been nice if I had mounted it the other way, but, you know. Live and you learn. Might take a zip tie in there and get that nice and tucked away. Okay, 2 more left, and then we can start working on fans, drives, and cable management. So there's one thing that I might not have, and it might be that I need another SATA cable, but I think there's another spare in my motherboard box. Okay, so this, wow, these are some chunky connectors, but I suppose that's what you get when you get these cheap connectors. What exactly is that for? HML. I don't know what that's for, but that is I believe PCIe connection. I should figure out what that does. Is that a fan controller? These are fan... Oh, that's kind of neat. So what would be the benefit of doing that then? That's a fan control hub is what that is. High, medium, low. Oh, okay. So then you don't have to go into your BIOS and go into your fan settings. Oh, that is actually really smart. That is really cool. Because in a gaming system or just a normal system, you can get into your BIOS and change your fan settings in there. But I don't know that if you're running a NAS operating system that it even has that settings. So what they did is they gave you a control option built into the case. So if you needed to speed up your fans for anything, you didn't have to find some sort of weird software workaround. It was just right there, which I think is pretty flippin' handy. I think that's really cool. And then they give you, the only issue is then they only give you 3 leads for this, which will be all three of the fans that are in there. So if we wanted to add the Noctua fans, they would just be running at whatever they're gonna run at, and they cannot be controlled. Which the Noctua fans are not loud by any means, so they could be running at full blast, full tilt, and they will not disturb any of the piece at all. So if we wanted that max cooling, I don't think it'll matter too much. I am just curious as to what exactly, if the fans will even run at all. So it's time to figure out what all of this stuff is, because I'm noticing that there's a lot more. So I know that, okay, it all literally just fell to this other side, which is pretty sweet. And the majority of it is over there anyway, so we need to be back over here. So, okay. We undo this. I think I know exactly what all of this is. Okay, so these are our front panel stuff, which will be our power switch and our maybe LED indicators and whatnot. I'm gonna have to look up a diagram again because I don't remember the exact order that this stuff goes in. Hard drive light, power LED. There's one thing, I watched Linus Tech Tips review on a case that had all of this stuff molded together. Again, it's standardized. There's no reason why it couldn't be. It's not like different motherboard slot, like it's all the exact same thing over and over again. So audio, this isn't super important because we're not going to be running headphones or anything out of this, but we will go ahead and plug it in anyway. This is for our USB, so this is actually rather important. I just got to remember where it goes. JJ system. Oh, what?
If you can get it done within 2 minutes, I'll have it over video over that.
I cannot believe they did it like this. That, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. They didn't label any of these the way they should have. Unless I'm looking at the motherboard backwards, and this is completely different from the one that I use. Oh, it is. It actually is. It is different from mine. But that could just be because it's a mini ATX. So USB, where's that going exactly? Oh, can we pop this front panel off? I'm sure we can. That's going to help with cable management, I guarantee it. So this doesn't need to be nearly as long as it is, because it's just going right here. Trying to think, do I need something else to go there that this would be interfering with? I don't think so. There's no like satisfying click to that one, so pretty sure it's fully seated. HD audio, I think I just saw that. USB. USB com dash system fan rainbow. Well, that's what that is. But that's is that what that is? Maybe? No, it's got one missing in there. Oh, there it is, audio. Audio. Okay. Audio goes plugged in there. Oops, shoot. Cable management. Again, we gotta really try here. I really gotta try here. Make this look pretty. Nice. Try to tuck this along the bottom as near to the bottom of the case as humanly possible. Okay. Get the fans out of the way. I might run all of the fans through this top here, since that is where the CPU fan is. Anyhow, what is this? Oh, is it the dust cover? Can you just? Be kind of neat if you could just slide it out without having to disassemble the entire case. Oh, you can! Sweet. So you can clean out your dust covers without needing to completely disassemble your case. I'm not seeing a way to do that with the top ones, though. Again, that's kind of weird that this front panel... Oh. No, never mind. I thought I had an aha moment. I didn't. I really want to figure out... I'm not seeing it bolted in anywhere, so I don't really know why it doesn't want to come off. That's something that we might have to figure out later, but let's see how we get this dust filter back in. It's got a little cradle. Okay, so again, I'm gonna have to look up a diagram of this because this is complicated and can cause problems if you don't do it right. Did I bookmark it? That would have been really smart if I bookmarked it. I don't know. No, I doubt it. Okay, what was it called? Front panel pins. There it is. Okay, so like this is gonna go power LED, and then everything. It's a whole process, and why then just bind these together is beyond me. So power LED plus and minus. These need to be reversed. I need you not to shut off right now. The letters need to be facing up. Yeah. I think. So negative is on the left. Or negative's on the right, positive on the left. Bam. And bam. This is where a magnifying glass would be pretty sweet. Oh, sweet, it flipped. This is my favorite part right here, guys. I gotta say, this whole time, me planning this entire build out, it was in my head. Man, I cannot wait to wire up the front panel. It's gonna be so much fun. I had so much fun with my system. Okay, those are in. Hard disk drive LED, plus and minus. So, okay. I was told that the front needs to be facing up. So, and the problem is they won't be facing up. Does it say if this is a mini or a micro? I think it's mini. Mini ATX. Mini ATX motherboard. It doesn't say power LED H. That's less than ideal because okay, if this diagram is correct. Ooh, I didn't mean to turn my phone off. I kind of needed that. Power button switch is going to be next. And then hard disk drive light. Where'd it go? This one. It's going to be reversed, which I don't understand why it would be reversed. I know that you wouldn't want to turn it upside down. So I'm going to look up a tutorial of other people setting this up. Oh, no, it's the, okay. No. Yeah. It was right the first time. It's the letters facing down. I got that wrong. That is my bad. I am glad I looked that up and saw that. That could have been bad. Good thing. Not extraordinarily competent. Because if I was, I would have been like, no, yeah, this is exactly how you do it. And then been super horribly wrong. And then hard disk drive, LED is going to go right underneath it. These cables are a pain in the rear end, let me tell you. I cannot see anything right now. I can't figure out why this isn't going in. There it went. And then power switch should go right next to the power. And come on. What is your issue? You're lying, right? Am I doing this in the wrong one? JTPM1, JFPM1. Okay, time to find the cases or the motherboard manual. Cause I might be getting the wrong connections and I can't find it. That's the Intel one. Did the motherboard not come with a manual? I find that super hard to believe. JTPM1, JFP1. I don't know. Is it, what is that? I wish I had a motherboard diagram to look at. Alright, I'm Googling it. We Googling it. MSI, please excuse me. MSI, can you please stop? Yeah, well, I need it to look right now. Pro B660 MA diagram. Oh, flash. No, I don't need BIOS. I just need resource, press room awards, videos, customer stories, blogs. That's just not what I need. I needed a diagram. Manual. What's going on here? Document. Diagram. Give me a diagram. Here we go. Wow, that helps so little, it's not even funny. Oh, here we go. PCIe expansion slots, front panel connections, the JPA connector, power on, reset. Okay. So it is JFP1. Okay, so yeah, I was using the wrong one. Again, I don't remember if that's how I did my system, but I feel like I didn't use the one that was all the way to the right. But just judging the fact that this didn't fit super well the last time means that this is in fact the right connector. Yeah, because that fit a lot better that time. So is that all of the, or is there one more or what? Is that all of them? Okay, that's all of them. I seem to remember there being one more, but I think that's for audio and that's not included maybe on this board, or maybe that's what that is actually. Yeah, that was audio. So let's try and get these all tucked back in here as neatly and as nicely as humanly possible. Again, if I could just take this front panel off, that'd be pretty sweet. I'll look into that here in a little bit. And presto. Sort of. Hang on. One more loop here. Bam. That looks a lot better. If we could pull this through a little more too. Yeah, let's try and get this front panel off because there's no way that USB header thingy-majigger is going to... Yeah, just a couple of pressure. Okay, it's all off. Make sure I'm not going to snap anything. Just make sure, just tug this all the way through. Son of a biscuit. That's unlucky is what that is. This audio does not want to just stay put, which again, we're not running audio out of this, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still make me feel better if it would just sit in there and be nice. Okay. I think that's all I really want to access the front for right now was cable management. We need to go down a little bit. Well, what happened? That looks worse than how I had it. Man. Okay, we'll, I guess, take it out again. Try not to pull the audio out again. Let's see, we just need which two? These two. Get in there. Oh, well, yeah. We'll be okay. That'll be alright for right now. If we need to access it again, we will take the zip ties and try to get that all tucked away nicely. but I don't think we need to access this at all for anything else. So I'll get that tucked out of the way. It is looking like we might need to use zip ties. I should also have some Velcro ties hiding somewhere. I had a lot of those because I didn't use any of them. Okay, let's rig up the fans, then we can start doing the hard drives. I forgot a step. We still have an NVMe drive to install. That shouldn't be too terribly hard to do with the motherboard in there. It's kind of inconvenient, but it is what it is. We're plugging that in. Okay, and then power supply will need to be coming in first. So yeah, that is our boot drive. That's what we're going to be running our OS off of. I think that this is the slot we want to be going for. This has 2 slots for PCIe, or NVMe, sorry, NVMe drives. So if we wanted to, we could put a higher capacity one in there to add it into the mix. Not sure what that would do for us with this particular system, seeing as it's just a NAS, but if we were running anything else, that would be actually really sweet, because that is the fastest drive you could get your hands on, basically. And this one has a cool little cooling pad. Not that this drive will be getting very hot, I don't reckon. So we shall be mounting it. It is keyed, so there's only one way it can go. Like so. Alright, and then we take our cooling pad, and I already forgot which way it goes. Oh, I can see now. We'll lay it down on top of the drive here. That is something that I should probably get back on my drive. I took the cooling pad off and then never put it back on. Yeah, this one. Magnetic screwdriver, please. Do your magnetic thing. I lied? Yeah, I lied. This one goes here, maybe? Yeah, yep. I got it, guys. I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I see now. I bet you the reason I couldn't get this on is because I mixed this up the last time. But with my drive, I am actually putting it through pretty intensive workload, so I should probably get a little cooling pad for it. And I think mine has a spare slot on there too, so I could probably add another one in there eventually. Okay, so boot drive is installed. We've got the front panel all wired up. Maybe a little more wiggle room for that. We've got one more fan that needs to be plugged in, and then we can do power supply, and then drives. I think I want to do it in that order. Does this, can we go up over, or do we have to go around? It looks like we have to go around. You can switch to this camera, camera 3. We'll zoom in. That actually might give you.
Or whatever this is, or whatever rig is 2030.
That'll be alright. We'll probably be done before that dies. Not with the OS install, actually. That will take some time. But the system itself will be done, which is pretty neat. So there's the third connector. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's pretty sweet that it did that. That's kind of nice. Retractable ones. That's really inconvenient, actually. And fan 3 is connected. So now we'll go ahead and How am I going to make this look pretty? I'm just now realizing that the back of the case, I can't just chuck cords wherever I want because that's where all the hard drives are going. Might have to introduce some zip ties into this equation for sure. And maybe some tape. Okay, I have some ideas for that, actually. And we need to get that out of the way now. So we have to disconnect all our fans. Without doing that, preferably, but that's okay. And we'll route them all underneath the CPU fan, which will hopefully keep that out of the way. Oh, yeah, we kind of need that next. That is one of these. So I think what I'm going to do alright. You know what? We can go ahead and mount this now. So, thermal take, 750 watt gold. This should last us forever, basically. Smart Zero fan. Interesting. I don't know why you would ever want your cooling fan for your power supply to be off. That is quite beyond me. So we can, it does have a space right here for the cooling fan to be, but I don't know which one would be more, which way would be more efficient, having it right above the cooling fan here, or just kind of having it do its own thing down here. Do we know which way this fan is facing? I think this is an exhaust fan. These both are exhaust fans. And then maybe these are all exhaust fans. Why would they have it set up like that? Surely not, right? It might be that way. We may have to add some of the Noctua fans after all. Okay, well if that is an out, we'll just leave the power supply like this. These feet aren't very tall. Because I don't really want heat from the power supply, kind of just heat soaking the drives. That's kind of not a good idea, I don't believe. Where did I put that cable? Is that still hanging here? No. What did I do with that? Did I drop it? I dropped it. Right here. So, yeah. Oh, sweet. It's got nice cable management here. Okay. Go ahead and get that bolted in. I think that's what these are for. No, they are not. That's for something else entirely. Maybe that's what these are for. Go ahead and screw the power supply in. Make sure it's nice and secure. Try and find the actual hardware for this. That's Christian. What's up, Christian? How's life? What? What's so impressive? This is crazy. What's crazy? What's impressive here? Oh dear. I only have 2 more of these screws. Are these this? No. I'm pretty sure these are actually for the, specifically for the power supply. I don't foresee this thing moving too much. So 2 is probably just fine. No, there's a 3rd here. Well, we should be able to wrap this up. Can we take the drive cages out? Why don't you try and install a drive or 2?
There's one.
That's a real knee slapper right there, I'll tell you.
Isn't that how you do it?
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you now.
Kind of looked at me like I had 3 eyes when I.
Okay, we gotta kind of crunch it here because we're in the final stretch. We've got not a lot left to do here. So what did I want to do? And in hindsight, I don't think I should have bolted it in. And I remember that bolting it in is indeed the last step because it makes life easier for you. So I'm actually going to undo this. But we have all the hardware now, so that takes like 30 seconds to get this all back in.
That drive I just installed out?
Well, you gotta unbox it first, silly.
Oh.
I think for now we should have 1 drive per cage just for absolute redundancy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen these supposedly thumb screws. Luckily, they are all the same as all the other case hardware. We're going to slide the cage out. And then they bolt in. I gotta think here for a second. Like so. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. I thought that that would be a tighter squeeze, but I guess not. I would like to unbox the other one though and see if it is any different. It shouldn't be, but if it is, it means that maybe I'm missing a cage. And I gotta think.
Well, wouldn't these just attach to the drive and then they slide
Oh,
in?
you're right. I forgot about these.
That's what it used to be back in the day.
You're right.
When I had an Apple NAS.
What happened to that?
I don't know. Outdated technology.
I don't get it. These, what? I am confusion.
That's what
Where is our...
attach these to the drive.
Well, that looks like that makes sense, but then from there, how do those attach?
Slide into, I don't know.
Oh. Something like this, maybe? Wow. Where is our manual for the case?
Didn't see one.
I didn't either, to be fair. They probably just assume you know exactly what you're doing, which is mildly unfortunate. I'm pretty sure it's all a standard, so it should be the same universal, but node 804. Okay, so pull that out. That's what these screws are for. Yeah, it's just apparently as simple as I just don't really know why that doesn't hug it quite as maybe. Cool. I mean, I know that fitment works because both the screw holes line in or line up. But this right here where the drive is free floating and it's hard to get it lined up, it seems kind of, but I guess that's how it works. Oops. Yeah, something like that.
Just wonder if you took all the drives out of all the hard drives
If you shock them.
and put them in, it would show live.
Well, my only thing when I was thinking about it today is if they look like this and have the same connections and whatnot internally.
Well, the problem is going to be because it's Windows, probably, for them to show up. Because it's not FAT95 or whatever formatted, so probably won't work that way.
Well, what do you mean it's Windows? This isn't going to be running off Windows. This is going to be running off of Linux, I believe, off of its own
Whatever.
custom.
Yeah, not iOS.
But yeah, if your drives are all formatted off of iOS, then yeah. So they're just going to hang then, other way, like so, which is going to make wiring that kind of interesting. So that's probably going to be something that I want to do before I slide the cage in. So now I got to think, did I want them? I did want them on two separate.
Why? What would that matter?
Well, I guess it really wouldn't.
Might as well just stack them together. Keep adding until you fill one.
Yeah. So the nice thing about this is you can choose if you want these both to be, if you want this to be like 16 terabytes of storage, or for redundancy, if you want this to be a pool of drives, or mirrored, yeah, mirrored. So if one fails,
Ultimately, you should just have it have 16 gigs mirroring to Dropbox.
yeah.
Because I got unlimited Dropbox.
So the question is how you would do that. Oh, I know. Yeah. Because what this would do then is when you get it all set up, it would just kind of act as as a drive. You just have Dropbox automatically.
sync to that.
Yeah.
But the only thing is I'm going through 3 terabytes a month
Jeepers.
on Dropbox. They're adding 3 terabytes a month for me. So
I didn't think you were going through that much, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But yeah, and then you don't also, whenever you go to upgrade, you don't have to get 8 terabyte drives necessarily. You can get like another 2 10 terabytes or 12 or whatever if you want to really start exponentially increasing. Okay, so where did the box go? This one. Did it come with a SATA cable? Or was that supposed to be the motherboard's job to supply those?
It's cables.
I think that's what these are. Yeah. Yeet. Sasha, is there audio? Did we fix it? I can get that screwed to just... That's the one thing. Everybody raves about Noctua fans. These are like the best of the best. Everybody loves them, but their mounting hardware sucks. So bad. I mean, it gets the job done, but by golly. Sasha. Panzer. Can you hear me? Okay, there's audio.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks for alerting us, Sasha. You're a real one. Yeah, my thing died. I didn't realize that it wasn't flashing. I swear we had audio for the rest of the stream. Alright, so we've got both case fans mounted. Let's go get them both wired up. We'll go ahead and... Oh, shoot. We don't want to tug on that too hard. That would be less than ideal if that were to get busted. Oh, I see now, says the blind man. It's not really... That one should almost be mounted to the bottom, too.
And we have officially been streaming for 2 hours and 4 seconds.
Only 2 hours?
I know, right?
Okay, front panel back on. Where's all our case fan headers? Pump fan, we don't have a pump.
What's that shaking?
It's the table, the whole table, I think.
Yeah.
Where is our system fan? Where's all our case fan headers? That's probably what that one is. But I don't want to just say probably and it not be. RGB, that's kind of interesting. Okay, system fan, that's definitely a case fan thing. But that's only one part, we need another one. Pump fan. I could plug it into the pump fan connector. I know it's not going to hurt anything, but I'd rather it go into a case fan.
It was about 20 minutes of no audio.
Oh, was it really? That sucks. Oh, there's another fan header. So let's reverse this, actually. Let's do... Or do we? Do we do that? Yeah. Yeah. Let's do... What did I say that was? Right there.
Well, I gotta figure out why that audio meter isn't,
Showing up.
Yeah.
because that's,
Ridiculous.
well, I think it's because we got the HDMI plugged in out. I never do that,
Oh, yeah, might could be.
so.
No. Should I switch that one to in?
No. No, I never have the HDMI to the big screen.
Oh.
He never has it plugged into
And
anything.
even if I would, it wouldn't have speakers on it. That's got speakers.
Yeah, that might also help.
Well,
Which, I mean, I could kind of see why that would be a software issue, but I can't see why that would be, like, something that they would actually implement. Because, like, yeah, you can now monitor the audio from your display, but you'd still want a bar in the event that you did mute it, or you just wanted to see if it was peaking, or, like, the levels, figure the levels out and whatnot. Like, that's kind of weird if that is just a software issue and they have it like that intentionally. or somewhat intentionally. I need that to mount up here somewhere, not hang. Where's my twisty tie? That's a really long twisty tie.
I can't believe that wireless only lasted, well, I guess we are 2 hours.
It still feels like something like that should last a little longer.
Oh, that's why I don't like those, is batteries are...
Not so bueno.
Switch to the audio on HDMI 2.
Okay.
Let me see how that was.
That's so annoying. I need a bigger twisty tie. Or a zip tie. I mean, let me think here. Am I going to be connecting anything else to that? I don't think so. We might have to do 2 zip ties. I mean, there's a big clump of cables right here. Oh, we got it. We got what we need.
I find it pretty cool that it's just kind of like on like a line. There's just 2 different areas. Is there anything gonna fill in this space?
No. Other than maybe more drives at some point. Okay, so the only thing that needs to be connected now is the CPU and motherboard, which I don't know if it was wise to leave those 2 for last. Most people don't.
Why is there 2 switches? There's 2 on and off switches.
Well, one's not an on and off switch. One is a control for something. Uh-oh. This is not the right cable. How have I done this? Wait. Is it backwards? It is backwards. This is the right cable. I'm just looking at the wrong end. So let me think here. 24-pin ATX. What is this supposed to be for? This is 5. Is that really supposed to be? I might have to go look at my power supply for reference. Oh. I remember now. It just goes up here somehow. Are we on camera 3?
Yep.
Watching me struggle. Wait. How is this? They sure do make this awfully inconvenient. Okay, that's clicked in. This is why you don't bolt the power supply in until you have made sure that you got everything. Because this is the most painful thing to plug in, I swear. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, it looks like all the clips are level. So we want it back this way. No, we want it this way. Okay, and then CPU. Which it's Molex. That is probably one of the cords that I have hiding somewhere, like this one. But I don't want to mix them up. Let's see. This is also a CPU one. I don't think the Thermaltake one had labeled CPU. I have 2 CPU cables. This one might be for my EVGA power supply. No, they're both labeled. PCIe CPU. Well, I gotta think here. These are the only 2 cables I'm missing. None of my... Oh, that's annoying. And that's auto shut off probably again. That's probably not battery. Maybe. shouldn't say probably not. Cause yeah, it is battery exhaust.
Nice.
Unlucky. That's alright, we're about done here.
Wait. Oh.
No.
For a second, back.
None of these are labeled. I don't know. I heard that you're not supposed to mix cables from different power supplies. But I don't see why that would be, really.
Now the charger needs charged. But we're at 40%, so we'll be good for a while.
RO powers computer as a heat-ice modular. Mixing modular PSU can kill hard drives. Mixing modular PSU cables can kill hard drives, solid-state drives requiring data recovery system to get back. Interchange modular cable usually leads to frying a drive. Well, I know that those definitely came with the box, so those ones are fine. Doesn't say anything about CPU. I can go check and see where I would have stored my other cables. But I don't think I'm missing. I'm gonna quickly go check my desk and make sure I'm not missing any. We are safe because all of my cables for my EVGA power supply are all labeled EVGA. Not one of them actually describes what they go to, so I do remember that being kind of frustrating, but since I had already wired this up with this CPU, or with this power supply, I kind of already knew what I was doing. So I don't recommend the 1300 watt power supply from EVGA if you are completely new to building a computer, because at least Thermaltake labeled where everything went. That's annoying, and that just undid all of my cable management. Like I said, power supply cables are the most annoying. Period. I still don't hear a click. It's only got like a millimeter to go. Like it couldn't be any closer if it really tried. I've not got it yet. That doesn't make much sense to me. Really? Not one part of this process just wants to go seamlessly? Why are you like this? What's your problem, man? Oh, I got it. Maybe it's just the plastic, I don't know. Okay, now the CPU. Thank you, sir. How much room do we have at the top of the case?
None.
Never mind, I don't want to do that anyway. That looks like a pain in... But I kind of do want to do that, because I
No,
don't
you
want to...
can't do it. It's flush.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably what that's even for. No, it's not. Does it really? Because what else would this hole be for?
Yeah, the blade's sitting into the metal.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So is it gonna have any RGB?
Nope. Not one bit of it. Okay. We only need to plug one of these in because we're not overclocking. I do need to go into my system and plug the other one in. Wait. God bless it, I did the wrong one. This is PCIe. It's my fault. Didn't look. CPU. I don't really know if the power difference between those cords is at all any different. And then seeing as they fit completely in the same slot, I think it'd be okay. The main difference between the two cords being is that each of these has a little split, because there's a, what, 6, 8? There's an 8-pin connector, and then a 4-pin right after it. So you can split these apart and plug in and give it what am I supposed to do? Probably this one. Top one. Okay, yeah, and you can split them apart and plug in just half of it for the 4-pin, giving it 10 pins total. Gives it a little more power for a little boost if you wanted to overclock. And run your CPU at a higher clock than it is set to from the factory. But since it's just going to be managing storage and whatnot, it really does not need to be I would be so happy if one one of these decided to go in smoothly. I remember having the exact same issue on my computer, though. It's just because of how tight these tolerances are, I can't get it squished right. PCIe. Why does this say PCIe? I guess that's... Didn't I see one that said CPU? Yeah, that one says CPU. That one says CPU. Do I have two PCIe cords? Or did I plug the exact same? No. What am I doing? But that's the right cord. Because it splits off. Right? 6. No, it's not. I think the PCIe... I don't know what the PCIe is for then. We'll plug the CPU into the CPU. Because we only need a 4-pin connector anyway. I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta think here. PCIe. Are these things down there? What you plug in all of your all your goodies into, like graphics cards and external network cards and expansion cards. So why? Man, I said I was going to be really good about cable management, but that just looks awful. It really doesn't help that the way they did their fans is kind of awkward. It was smart, but they needed to give me more cable. I mean, it probably sits flush enough. If you did run it through there, you can get it tied up against the back of the case. Okay. Everything is plugged in. Are all hooked up. I guess what we could do is plug it in and see if everything spins. And if everything spins, we can start putting the case back together. But if not everything spins, the problem is it's kind of nice having RGB on everything, because if everything lights up,
Be good.
you're good, but you can't really.
How are we gonna plug this in? Or where?
Well, that, my friend, is an excellent question. The one that I do not currently have an answer for.
That's it right there. Other way around?
Yeah! Okay, power supply goes on. Nothing on the motherboard lights up.
And there we go. I see red. I see blue.
What?
Where's the green?
CPU fan, all fans are running.
You said-
I hear at least one of the drives.
You said there wouldn't be none of it, but there is red and there is blue.
Well, but that's like your power indicator. It's not really. They move a fair bit of air. And that works in real time without needing any sort of software running or anything. And it killed itself.
Carbonated glue. Audio is one side for me. I can only hear from the left.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna fix that. I'm not sure
both.
why that is. So, I guess what we can do now is hook it up to a display. Well, no, actually what we should do now is hook it up to a display and figure out if... My fear is that it's doing the same thing that my computer was doing and the CPU is getting over temp.
Which would not be so good.
Which would not be great at all. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the display here. But if it is something else, I would really appreciate it. Okay, with this particular motherboard, we actually get a lot of display out options, which is kind of neat.
No signal.
Really?
HDMI 2. What's that little dot there?
I'll rob you of your keyboard notes.
Workplace.
MSI, very good. And we made it into the BIOS. CPU frequency 2.4 gigahertz, base clock, CPU core voltage. I'm not seeing temperatures. XMP profile. Boot priority. Oh, wow. This menu is like a lot more intuitive than mine is. Storage. SATA port. Yeah, both drives are detected. Full capacity. That's really good. M.2 detected. That's good. Cool! It looks like we did it all correctly. Do we have a camera angle on that at all?
No. I was thinking about it, but...
That's pretty frickin' sweet. I would like to know what my temps are like right now, though. And I'd like to know why I just decided to shut off for no reason.
Hold on.
Okay, well now it's time for the fun part. We'll go ahead and cable manage everything, get it all tucked away, and then we can go ahead and install our USB and start actually installing our software. So, go ahead and let it power down for a little bit. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about that. Unplug this now. We'll let it set and dissipate for a while. Because power supplies can hold power for quite some time after you unplug them.
Well, I guess probably not quite yet.
Well, eventually. So, we can take our handy dandy Velcro ties here that... Oh, no! That's annoying. That our case came with to cable manage our big beefy things. That's one thing that my case is, that's the worst offender, is all the power cables. They make the biggest mess. Out of the whole case, point blank period. Okay, let's not go through the case again. Yeah, we want it tight on this end. Just like that, and then, I don't know if we can actually get this all the way around here. No, so we might not be able to do much about that. That's okay. we can just do something like this and just get the one cable out of the way. Maybe if I can get this Velcro underneath here, maybe.
Well, what do you think about winding the live stream up and coming back when we're ready to?
I think that that's a perfectly acceptable idea, because even then, yeah, because this next part might take a little while. We got to figure out which formatting option is going to work best with Macs. From all the tutorials, everybody else was using Windows machines. We kind of would like to see what would play well with both OSs, but since my dad is primarily, or I should say exclusively, a Mac user.
Oh, come on, I buy one Windows machine a year, keep it for 24 hours, and then take it back.
Yeah. So, maybe not exclusively, but...
I have a Samsung phone.
That you probably use like
that
once.
has probably not moved from this spot right here
In fact, I
all
looked
summer, maybe?
In fact, I looked at it and there's actually marks on the screen of the padding.
Yeah, so... Yeah. You know. He tries. He really does. Like, he actually set out with high hopes for that phone. It actually has a really nice camera and everything. But he genuinely just can't hold on to anything. That's the wrong screw. Cannot hold on to anything that isn't Apple for more than...
Well, I had to hold on to that because I missed the return policy deadline.
Yeah, that is literally the only reason that device is still in the house. It is now a paperweight.
True story.
Where did I put the rest of those power supply screws? Nowhere convenient, it doesn't look like. Oh, they're right here underneath the case. Okay, well, yeah, I reckon that's going to do it for this particular episode. We will come back with one more stream showing this thing off, and then maybe an update way later down the line showing off how this thing is doing, maybe when we get it loaded up with some more drives. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. I would say subscribe for more content like this, but I don't do this a lot. Neither does my dad. He kind of just, like we were saying in the beginning, would rather spend the money than to deal with the hassle. But this was fun, for me at least, so... I would like to build a couple more machines similar to this. Maybe get some custom servers and stuff going with a lot of the older stuff that we have laying around the house. Because we've got a lot of old Windows towers back before we...
I don't think we have that many.
Well,
We have,
there's like 2 or 3 laying around here that
Yeah.
I could turn into a server too, so... Yeah, I would say subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Hit that notification bell, leave a like, and as always, keep moving forward, and we'll see you guys in the next stream.
And also don't forget to go subscribe to Buckeye Drone.
Well,